Damon Hack with Brandel Chambly and Mark Rolfing. A wild day one at the Tour Championship. A back injury, a lead come and gone. And Brandel, you believe you identified the pivotal hole in this drama.
Well, look, there were a lot of crazy things that happened out there today. Colin Morikawa starting the day 9 back, now tied for the lead. But I do feel like the moment that I really couldn't believe today transpired on the 15th hole. It was back and forth in a sort of way with Rory McIlroy, who at the beginning of the day we found out had this bad back. It was spasming. Every time he was swinging the club, it seemed like on the front 9 he was letting go of the club. It looked like he might quit, looked like he might WD, but he just kept hanging in there, waiting for maybe some relief in the back. Gets up on one of the hardest par 3s in all of golf, where you thought maybe he'll find the water, but instead he just laced a shot right at it. He'd make that putt. And here's the best player in the world. This was completely shocking. Best player in the world, best ball striker in the world, hitting the very worst shot of the day at the 15th. There were only 2 balls that found the water today. One of them narrowly front right, that one by a wide margin to the left. He would go on to make triple bogey there and let the whole world sort of back into this event, including Rory, who looked like he was no way going to have a chance to be anywhere near the lead early on in this round.
Yeah, I'm still startled, really, by what happened. But you're going to hear a lot of Rory McIlroy from me in the next few minutes, because I really believe that was one of the best rounds of the year. He shot 70. Doesn't sound like that great a score, but given what his physical situation was, and what was really impressive to me, Brandon, was how he managed his challenges. He knew where he was going to miss it. Almost all of his misses were consistent. They were going long, they were going a little bit left, but he was able to manage that process. He made a couple of really important putts to save pars, one saved bogey. And that's one of the best rounds of 70 you're going to ever see.
Yeah, 37 on the front, 33 on the back. And just to get you up to speed, Rory McIlroy injured his back at home, had a labored warm-up today, some labored swings on the front. But Brandel seemed to find some precision on the back line, including this approach at 10.
Yeah, look, this is, he made a nice swing into 9. He looked like at 8 he was, just going to have a whole day of, misses and pulls and maybe just walk off the golf course. But a nice swing at the 9th. He was able to make par. And then a gorgeous shot at the 10th. Made a nice putt at the 14th. And then a gorgeous iron shot at the 15th. And surprising that he was able to turn this around. Just a bit disappointment that he bogeyed the 18th hole. But in all, you have to really tip your cap to Mark's point about him shooting 70.
Yeah, great bogey saves at 2 and 11. Great par save at 17. It was a tale of 2 9s, wasn't it?
It really was. I mean, just to sort of underscore how bad he looked early on, even in the warm-up, he was sort of grimacing as he was hitting shots. But there was evidence that he was certainly suffering. We'll go out to the 4th hole early on, and, of course, this was it. There were a number of shots where he was swinging really slow, a number of shots where he was just letting go with the club. And I don't know if he was doing that solely out of frustration as much as it hurt him to go ahead and follow all the way through. So it just looked like it was the sort of the lower right back portion of his body that was giving him some grief. And here he is at the 6th. And the thing about playing with a bad back is inevitably you're going to hit a lot of bad shots where you're going to end up in some awkward places on the side of a slope, up slope, down slope. And that was sort of the story all day long. But as the day wore on, he started making some progress. Perhaps there was a little bit of relief. We saw him out there going through some stretches. At one point, laying down on the green, laying down on the tee, stretching his back. He had his physio here. Beautiful shot here at the 9th. But you can tell just by the trajectory that it wasn't quite up to his speed. Just a nice, slow, easy swing, trying not to do any damage. Beautiful shot there at the 9th. He wasn't able to convert it. But again, tee shot here at the 10th, it helps to have as much speed as he does. So, even if you let your foot off the accelerator just a bit, you're still getting around 180 ball speed off of the tee, and a nice wedge shot there. And I alluded to the fact that he had hit a gorgeous shot here at the 15th. Worth seeing again. He made a 20-footer for birdie at the 13th, in a place where you thought if he was going to make a big mistake, it might come here. He gets sort of a tingle of that pain in the middle of his backswing, loses it out to the right, or pull hooks it left, but he didn't. Hit a gorgeous shot there and was able to make that putt from about 15 feet down the hill. And maybe this was the shot of the day, coming out of the right bunker where you thought he'd be struggling, looked like he was struggling, but managed to catch enough of the ball to get it up and over that lip. And what looked like he might shoot 60 or 73, 74, He was able to turn things around and came to the 18th hole, and unfortunately, the ball well below his feet right here. Again, if you're suffering from a bad back, and you can see that was sort of all arms, very easy to see why a shot like that would come off of one of the best players in the world's clubs. But in the end, 70 is certainly a heck of an effort by Rory.
Absolutely, it was great fight back, 37-33 for the defending champ. For more on Rory's day, let's send it out to Todd Lewis.
Well, Damien, earlier in the week, Rory McIlroy had an awkward movement and tweaked his back. It was a muscular issue, or is a muscular issue. It's not a structural issue. He was uncertain as to whether or not he was going to tee it up at the Tour Championship. As early as this morning, he came out to East Lake, went through a physical therapy session, then went to the range, hit 20 golf balls, came back and had more treatment, and then after that range session and those 2 sessions of treatment, he decided to give it a go in the Tour Championship. He did lose some speed in his round. He was about a club shorter, but he was proud of the way he fought, especially on the back 9, to put together that round and keep him very much in the mix heading into the rest of play here at the Tour Championship. He did not address the media. He immediately went and got more treatment on his back. We'll see how he feels tomorrow and if he's a go for round 2. Damon?
Tell you, Ralph, Rory is so accommodating, so graceful, so powerful, so nice. Is his toughness underappreciated?
Oh, I totally think so. And it was really during the round, it looked to me like that he kind of got what was going on. It's interesting. I think the average recreational golfer could learn a lot from what Rory did today, because he started out, to me like he started out trying to hit the ball. He was trying to hit it, and his club was out of control. His hand was coming off it, and that didn't work. And as he got into the middle of the round, he started swinging the club with his arms primarily. Very little rest of his body was involved, but he was swinging the club, and the club was simply colliding with the ball. And that slowed him down, and it basically got it totally under control. Once he started understanding that, you know, he hit a lot of really good shots coming in, but I could see that change. Number 9 was the first shot that he really did that on, and that was a beauty. It was lower than normal, as you said, but it was a great shot.
I have to admit, a couple times I thought he might walk off the golf course. Awkward stances, bogey saves that kind of kept a little bit, a modicum of momentum going. Did that thought cross your mind at all, that he might say, you know what, enough is enough?
It did, and I think, and we'll talk about this in more detail tomorrow morning, but I think it kind of, in a way, sort of exposed a flaw in the current format of the FedEx Cup. Because, look, if he walks off, he's going to finish 30th in the FedEx Cup. And if the system is meant to reward a year-long's effort on the PGA Tour, I ask you, would finishing 30th in the FedEx Cup reflect the way he's played for a year? No. No, it shouldn't. So the FedEx Cup points that he had accrued are, in a sense, all gone. And they're you know, now representative in a staggered scoring, which goes back to nothing if he decides to withdraw. So I think they're going to have to come up with a different format for situations just like this.
Yeah, I'll tell you, at one point it looked like Scotty Scheffler was going to run away, at least on this day. Had a 5-shot lead, was at -13 at one point, but that leaderboard now has been turned upside down after day 1 at East Lake Golf Club. Victor Hovland at -10 alongside Colin Morikawa with that round of 61, 9 under par, and Keegan Bradley, Ryder Cup spot on his mind with a round of 63.